Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Focus on Gaming podcast, episode number 58. I am Martin. I am joined by both Tom and Duncan. How are we?
Hello.
Hello.
How you doing?
All good? Hope you've had a week of constant gaming.
Well, we are all dads, so we know that's a joke.
Yeah.
Non-stop, 24/7 game. Or waking up, going to bed, wake up, gaming, go back to bed, wake up.
Oh, in fact, in bed is the time I get most of my gaming in there. Playing on the Steam Deck and the phone.
Yeah.
Not doing anything else then in the bedroom.
I'm married, of course not.
He waggles his own joystick, no one else's.
Oh yes. Motion controls are quite good nowadays. No. I think none of us have been playing much, have we, this week?
Let's hope your missus never listens to these episodes.
Oh, not mine. She listens to every episode.
Good.
I tell you what, if she does, what she should do is go to our Facebook group and do a page and put a sick response, like a sick face, on loads of posts. That's what she should do.
There you go.
Yeah.
Up a test. You'll see now if she actually watches.
It'll be a subtle hint. It'll be a subtle hint that
you only have to get through about 5 minutes of it, and then she can turn it off. Go and do that, and we know.
She has to put up with my Midlander accent like all the time, so she doesn't want to sit there and listen to us for an hour and 20 minutes of more slightly brummy. No. Anyway, so no one's been playing much, have they, this week?
No.
I've been pretty busy, but played a little bit of more of Mafia, but not that much of it. I did the last mission I did. There was a massive shootout in a church.
Oh yes. I've passed you then.
Oh, you've gone past me, yeah. So you were going to a funeral, and you end up going to a funeral of someone that you didn't technically kill, but you were there when.
Yeah, you accidentally end up in the church, in the back room of the church of the person that you killed.
You blow up a casino, and you end up having to escape from the cops through some rooftops, and you climb down and end up, and you get seen by someone, and they say, "Oh, that's the person who killed the person whose funeral." And
what
then
are the chances?
Then you end up having a massive shootout without. Good mission. It was quite long because the hotel bit you had to kill about 20 gangsters in there, and then you had
load of police,
and then you go through the church, and then there's probably another 20 or 30 gangsters in there to kill as well. And then at the end of it, which was the most annoying bit, because you leave the church and the police are surrounded it, and then you got to drive off, escape from the police. So the first time I went on it, the guy, because you're with someone else and you got to wait for him to get in the car. He took so long to get in the car that the police just was shooting my head, and then I ended up dying in the car. I was like, "What am I meant to do? I can't just drive off. I don't just sit." So the second time, I was like, "Oh, I'll try and kill some police officers." Killed some, went into the car, but in the actual fire, the car got hit, and I went to start it, and it was on fire, and I was like, "Brilliant!" And then got out, and we both tried to steal a police car. Got there in the end with the mission, but that's it really. That's the only thing.
It's very much the police are very much. You've just got to keep turning left and right, then left and right, then left, right, and so zigzag as much as possible. And eventually they just go, "Oh my god, I haven't seen him for 3 seconds. He must have disappeared."
Yeah. When you're in the car, it's easy to. Well, so far, unless it changes, it is quite easy to get rid of it. I know you can change the difficult. I mean, I got it on like the normal one mode, but there are 2 harder modes that you could have it on, and I think it does say that the police would be a lot tougher.
Yeah, I've got it on easy. I can't be bothered to. I can't be bothered to do it on any kind of hard mode. I like the story. The story is very good. It's as I said last episode. It is based. There's a lot of similarities with Goodfellas, and Goodfellas is a great story. So yeah.
I feel like I should play this now.
Yeah, well, I can only assume that they're going to have this on Game Pass for a few months, probably remove it, and then put Mafia 2 on. or Mafia 2 is just going to come on as well. Because, well, we can get on to then Gamescom. Because Gamescom had an announcement about Mafia. That was one of the announcements. I don't know if you saw, but there is going to be a fourth Mafia game called Mafia: The Old Country. So I think, by the looks of it, it is based in Sicily and around the 1900s, like literally 1900, 1910 kind of thing. So yeah, so another Mafia game is coming. That was a
maybe that's why
good
they've
segue.
been releasing the Mafia games on Game Pass.
Yes, and they are very cheap on Steam as well at the moment. They're like, I think about £3 or £4, something. So probably under $10. You can get at least two of them, or around $10, £10. So yeah, so if you like, or if you haven't played the Mafia games, definitely a good time to try them because they're on Game Pass. They're cheap. Yeah, brilliant games. So yeah, I've been playing it as well, and I've got probably, from what I can remember of the story, probably halfway through, maybe 2/3 of the way through. But yeah, it's some quite hard hitting bits, and your character starts questioning everything. But good game. So yeah, Gamescom. There was Gamescom, wasn't there? Did you two watch Opening Night live at all?
No, it's in Peppa
Not
Pig
live,
World.
no.
Oh yes, you were in Peppa Pig World, of course. What did you want to watch? All the latest games coming out, or George Pig waving at you? A 7-foot George Pig waving.
Made his choice.
Easy choice.
Well, I checked it out on the website.
Yeah, it was good. I watched the whole thing. There was one or two big announcements. There was only a couple of surprises though. The biggest announcement I would say is probably Borderlands 4, although that was known to be in development, I think. So they have finally announced it. So Borderlands 4 is coming. You two Borderlands fans?
Yeah.
Played a couple of them. So
yes. Borderlands 2 I played to death, but Borderlands 3 I didn't get it till late, and all my friends who played it had stopped playing it. And it didn't really review as well, so I think I maybe played it for about 2 hours, and that's it. Whereas Borderlands 2, I think I probably put about 150 hours into it. Finished all the DLC. Got loads of good guns. What do they call it? Bajillion guns?
I don't know. I'll be completely honest.
I haven't got a clue. That was all their adverts. They just put a bajillion guns because every single one of them has individual stats that just they might be 0.0001% more powerful. And great game though. Borderlands 2 much better than Borderlands 1 and better than Borderlands 3, if you ask me. Any games though that you've looked at that leap out at you?
Goat Simulator is getting a remaster. I mean, come on, we need to talk about this.
Fantastic game. I love the Goat Simulator games.
That'll be an interesting one. I'm sure there'll be.
Do you think I'll have all the DLC in it? Because did you play anything like what do they call it? There was a Skyrim one, wasn't there? There was a space one. Goatsea as well, which the Goatsea is also something that don't Google it. don't Google Goatsea, please. All do, but just not at work. I don't know. Do you know what I'm talking about with that?
No.
Yeah, don't you definitely don't Google it on your laptop.
No.
Then again, Goat-Z, you're fine, but Goatsea, yeah, you're not fine. I don't know why it needs a remaster though, because yeah. Would you buy
Doesn't
it?
really need it, does it? Let's face it. But hey, why not?
Fantastic game.
I'm looking
It's
forward
just
to.
stupid.
I'm looking forward to Batman: Arkham Shadow on the MetaQuest 3. I think that's going to be good.
Yeah. See, I don't have a MetaQuest, but Batman games are always pretty good, aren't they? So it's all the trailer for it. So
yeah, it looks like they're trying to get the sort of Rocksteady style gameplay, but in VR. So if they nail the gameplay, yeah, it looked good. It looked especially for the Quest 3. Yeah, and if they could get some puzzle kind of gameplay like in the Arkham games, fantastic.
I guess you'll get to feel like you're actually Batman then, Tom.
Martin, there's one thing you have to understand. I am Batman.
Wow.
I'm Batman.
I haven't been in the same room, so maybe it's true.
Does it mean like we have to cry about our parents being dead?
Nah, definitely not.
I actually watched the Batman recently, like the film, and he was a really good Batman, but a terrible Bruce Wayne. He's just, I don't know, have you seen it with Robert Pattinson?
Yeah.
And it was just, I mean, his Batman was great, but every time he was Bruce Wayne, it's like, he's just some floppy haired, whiny teenager kind of thing. It's like, ugh. Put the suit on.
They've cancelled the sequel, haven't they?
Have they? Oh,
yeah, apparently they're not doing it. Although what you read and then what happens are two different things. But yeah,
because we've got Joker 2 coming out soon.
So. Joker the musical.
Yeah, it's got Lady Gaga in it, isn't it?
Yeah. Yes, Folly a Deux, I think, or something.
Maybe we should just do a film podcast.
Oh no, they are filming part 2 of the Batman.
Well, I saw something the other day that said that perhaps they're now shelving it, but I don't know. I mean, like you say,
well, then again, Batgirl. They actually made Batgirl. It was finished and ready to come out, and they still cancelled it.
I can't wait for that to leak. It's going to leak eventually. It's got loads of Michael Keaton as Batman in it, so yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they tried to say that it was for review reasons, but it was basically a tax write-off, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And they basically got all the money back just because they cancelled it. It's like, really? People's careers and, well, I won't call it, it might be a rubbish film, I don't know, but art and everything, just cancelling it for money reasons. Just release it. And
who was Batgirl? Who played Batgirl?
Yeah, oh god, I can't remember her name. What was it? Oh, I'm gonna have to look that up now. Batgirl, there we go. It was that's Batwoman. No, that's Batwoman.
Leslie Grace, was it?
Cancelled.
I think it was Leslie Grace.
Never heard of Leslie Grace, so
there's your problem.
Feels like it's a new version of Barbara Gordon. Just trying to find it on IMDb, but I can't find it.
It's been deleted. That's why.
No, this one's got Michael Keaton on it. Top guest, Barbara. Yeah, Leslie Grace. Huh. Okay.
But yeah, Michael Keaton's in it, and
Michael Keaton was Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
Which he of course was in. What was the film? The Flash.
The Flash.
No,
yeah.
Was it the Flash? He was in as Bruce Wayne. He was the best Batman for me, even though the Dark Knight and Batman Begins, I think, surpassed it in terms of quality. But he was still my favourite. He was very good.
Yeah, I did like Christian Bale, but probably because I like the films the most. So
yeah, they're awesome films. But Heath Ledger made them as well, I think.
I like the fact that at the end of the Flash movie, what's his face? Oh God, what's his name now? The one that
seen
had the
that
worst
movie.
Batman movie.
George Clooney.
George Clooney appeared. I like that.
Well, was it that one that they had all of the versions of Batman, didn't they, or something, including Nicolas Cage, who was in a cancelled Batman thing?
Yeah, that was Superman.
No, that's Superman, wasn't it? Yes, sorry, that was Superman.
They did that
But that was in the Flash film, wasn't it?
It
Was
was,
that in the Flash film?
Yeah, it was in there. Christopher Reeve was in there.
Did they get him on it?
Yeah.
Well, hopefully not, because he'll be a bit mouldy by now.
Well, funny enough, there is a zombie version of Superman, so they could have done
Conspiracy.
Oh,
But,
bless
Yeah,
him.
they did that with
Great
Spider-Man,
movie.
where they had all the Spider-Mans come back. Have you seen that one?
Yes, yeah.
Is that Long Way Home or something? Is it that? I can't remember.
Yeah. No Way Home.
Spider-Verse.
Spider-Verse was good as well. It just, and the sequel was good, but then the sequel
No Way Home. That's one. Yeah.
The sequel just Into the Spider-Verse just set up the third film. But still, yes.
I'd love to see them do the same with the Batman movie.
Yeah, I mean, a load of studios are jumping on the bandwagon of that low frame rate style animation. I can't remember what frame rate they do. It's something like 20 frames per second. There's a couple of good ones. I don't know if you've seen Mitchell's versus the Machines on Netflix. Fantastic. Absolutely brilliant film. Hilarious. Yeah.
Does any of you watch a new Deadpool film?
Yes, I've seen it twice.
Seen it.
I do. That's probably one of my favourite in terms of but I haven't yet watched the new one. I watched the first.
Good.
No spoilers, but it's definitely worth a watch.
Yeah.
It's it's the most fourth wall breaking of all of the three of the Deadpool films.
So for our listeners, this is where we're about to announce the Focus on Movie podcast as well.
Yeah.
The Focus on Superhero podcast, the Focus on Movies podcast. So we can go back to Gamescom if you want.
Indiana Jones. That was
yes. That was one of the other big announcements, because they announced they showed a bit more gameplay, and it looked better than the second time that they showed it. But anyway, then the big announcement after they showed the trailer was that it's coming to PS5 about, well, it said spring 2025, so about, let's say, 4 months after Xbox. So
where it will sell millions of copies more.
Yep, it will sell millions more
copies more, but it just means that there's no point of owning an Xbox console, is there? Because they don't have any exclusives anymore. PlayStation still have exclusive. Unless the only reason you want to own an Xbox is to have Game Pass, which you can have Game Pass on PC and other devices, then just get a Nintendo or a Sony or PlayStation. It's just
or a 4K.
It's like they're doing it deliberately at the moment. It's like they're like, okay, we don't want people to buy our consoles, so let's just do whatever we can to put people off. They'll probably put Game Pass on PlayStation. I mean, I guess they would want to get Game Pass on PlayStation.
Phil Spencer has literally said, if they want to talk to us, we want to talk to them. I think they're already. I think Nintendo are probably they're leaning towards going maybe, but I think that's still a long way off.
I can't imagine Nintendo doing it. I don't know.
Well, I think as long as they don't, because at the end of the day, people buy Nintendo consoles and pay full price for 7-year-old games. So you'd still be buying Nintendo for Mario and all that kind of thing. Yeah. But now they can go, you can buy Mario and you can have all these Xbox games.
But would people, I guess most people would, but would people have 2 subscriptions? Because I've seen Nintendo have their own subscription service. Or
Nintendo is really cheap. It's like 20 quid a year.
It's really cheap. And it's not bad for what you get. You get like all the Nintendo 64, SNES, don't you, and all the other. But would people, I guess for that price, people would probably be willing to still.
It's throwaway, isn't it? For that price, it's just worth it. Yeah.
So I guess Nintendo, if they did, would think actually we're going to get more sales on our console as a result, and we shouldn't have too much of an impact on our subscriptions.
I mean, if the Switch 2 came out and they went, yeah, it's basically a handheld gaming thing, and you can play Game Pass on it, I would be quite tempted.
Yeah.
But if it's just another one of, yes, you can buy Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom for £70, I really couldn't care less.
Let's throw something out here. What if Nintendo released a Switch 2 4K with Game Pass and Steam on there?
If it was like an open PC.
Yeah, they just had Steam on there and Game Pass and Nintendo stuff. And when in your subscription, you get all of this stuff and you get, I don't know.
Well, if they have a browser, technically, they would have, as long as the controls are able to be accessed by the browser, like the sticks and everything, then technically you'll be able to have GeForce Now, you'll be able to have Xbox Cloud Gaming. So if they do have a browser that is fast enough, then yeah, you will be able to have Steam and Game Pass on there. If it was if it was janky, I don't think I'd want it. But if they went, yes, here we go, you get all these included, and you had a dedicated GeForce Now app and all this.
I think they'd win. I think they'd just win the console war, full stop, if they did that.
Yeah, you still have people loyal to Sony, don't you? Because just people are loyal, aren't they? And they obviously they still have their exclusive games. But I think all the Xbox and PC, not all of them, but a lot of the Xbox, some PC, some Steam people would just say, "Oh, just get a Nintendo because I can do everything I can or do."
With the current,
I get the Nintendo game that I couldn't get.
With the current generation, I mean, you've got the Steam Deck that will play probably 90% or 95% of PC games. It will play Switch games. It will play Xbox 360 games. It will play PS3 games-ish and whatnot. So, yeah, I mean, generally when people say, oh, well, I don't know what to get. Should I get a Switch or should I get a PC or should I get this? Generally, my answer is get a Steam Deck because you can do it all.
You can hack the crap out of it
legally,
and play everything.
Legally, you can't play Switch games on a Steam Deck.
No. Well, the grey area. if you are ripping your own cartridges, your own Switch, then yeah, it's grey area. But I think in a lot of countries that is perfectly legal. So if you own the games, if you are ripping them from your own console using your own prod keys, not ripping your own firmware and all this kind of thing. So yeah,
a lot for people to know. If you're not like a game techie person,
and I am not a solicitor or lawyer, so I will not be held accountable if somebody gets done for it. But
Nintendo will come after you.
Yeah, Nintendo are after the websites and they're after the modders and things like that. So
Nintendo are after everyone. Christ.
Yeah. I mean, they've shut down or helped shut down a ROM hacking website.
That's right.
Recently, that's they didn't actually. Well, they hosted. They didn't host original games. They hosted modded versions, like hacked versions of like Super Mario and all that kind of thing. And yeah, apparently after quite a few years, they suddenly sent it a letter and told them to shut up or go to court. Right. And so they shut. I think it's just called romhacks.com or something, is it? Something like that.
Yeah, it was a really good site actually.
Yeah, and so yeah.
Do we know how powerful the Switch 2 is meant to be? Is it going to be like sort of level with PlayStation 5 and Xbox?
There has been this week
powerful.
This week there was a Switch 2 spec leak. I don't know how true it is, but see if I can find it.
I mean, there's been various leaks about that he'll be 4K docked and all this kind of thing, and it's obviously it's competing against PS5 and Xbox and PCs. So I think if it's docked and playing 4K, it's still not going to be. It's not going to be playing things like Senua's Saga quality graphics. I don't think. I think it's still going to be sort of your Xbox One Pro, your PS4 Pro, and Xbox Series S kind of power. Personally,
apparently it's got a 60-watt charger, so for faster charging, it's 4K.
Because having a 4K handheld is pretty pointless. So it would only be 4K when docked, because anything over the 1080p is pretty much pointless in a like 7 or 8 inch handheld. So if it's a 7 or 8 inch handheld, that will probably be 1080p.
You might put a GeForce RTX 470 in it.
Apparently, it's got a NVIDIA Tegra 239 SoC combining Ampere GPU architecture, 12 gig of RAM. Game cards are rumored to be Samsung 5th generation VNAND, up to 1.4 gigabytes read per second. It supports NVIDIA DLSS super resolution and reconstruction.
That'll be where the best performance probably comes from nowadays, with frame generation and AI and all that kind of stuff. You can have, the Steam Deck, it can play things at 20. I would say 20, because it can't get a game going from 20 frames a second up to 100 frames a second, but you can have a game that goes at maybe 45 frames per second and get it up to 60 with DLSS and FSR and all that kind of thing. But no, I still don't think they're going to be, oh my God, look at the power of this thing. It's Nintendo. Nintendo have never been about power and everything. And I can imagine there's probably quite a few people behind closed doors having a go on one, or at least a dev version of it at Gamescom and things like that. But they have again announced that they're not announcing anything at Gamescom. So yeah.
Time will tell. Going back to something you said, Martin, about is there any point owning an Xbox without the exclusives? I wonder, and I'll put it to you both, has there been any point owning an Xbox of this generation in the last 2 years?
What do you mean, a particular game?
Console-wise, is there been any point in purchasing an Xbox console of this generation in the last 2 years?
I think having a Series S has been good to get a lot of people in on the ecosystem. I mean, if it's a cheap way of getting a PC, because a PC with a decent setup is going to cost you £1,000.
True.
Brand new. And it's half the price. For £500, yes, if you go second-hand parts, or if you're quite happy with 720p gaming, you might get something for the same price, but it wouldn't be very reliable, or it'd be second-hand parts.
I mean, the only reason I would consider getting an Xbox again would be for Game Pass, and obviously I can play my Game Pass on my TV, but I can't get games that aren't on Game Pass on it. So if I wanted Game Pass and the console where I can get the latest games that aren't,
you can't play Call of Duty, can you?
I'll get an Xbox, because then I can have Game Pass and still get games. So that's like instead. I know I could get PC, but like Duncan was saying, it's a cheaper alternative to getting a PC.
You weren't able to play Call of Duty.
No, and
the new Call of Duty.
I'm not a massive fan of Call of Duty, but yeah, it would be nice to have the option to play Call of Duty, like that Wu Kang game, that Black Myth Wu Kang that's come out. Wukong.
Yep.
I wouldn't have minded that looks like quite a good game, but unless I get PlayStation or an Xbox when it eventually comes out on Xbox, then I'm not going to be able to play it, because I doubt they're going to it's going to be coming out on Game Pass. So that's the only reason. But it does seem they're reducing those reasons at the moment by the decisions that they're making. But think it is clear that Game Pass is where they want to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, they need to hurry up with this handheld.
Yeah,
because otherwise, everyone's unless it's a completely open PC, and they magically come out with a brand new version of Windows that's completely handheld friendly. People are going to be like, "Why would I buy an Xbox handheld?" Yeah, I mean, I as an Xbox owner, I don't disagree that they're just the hardware they're not selling it to people, but I think they've from the day one of the Series S and X, they haven't been trying very hard. They've been going, it's brilliant and everything, but they're not actually. They're pushing Game Pass and they're investing in Game Pass.
Yeah. Even Nintendo's not trying hard. Let's face it. Nintendo's just sat on the Switch and went, "We're on a sleigh ride. We're killing it. Let's just carry on."
I mean, I know PlayStation has exclusives, but they're not even releasing. Like, it's 4 years into this generation since PS5 and Xbox came in. I would struggle to name like 5 games that have like come out, which has been. I mean, I could, but it's not like they're releasing games often, are they? I mean,
PS5. In terms of big ones,
PS4 and X, like the Xbox One, aren't they? So some games. So
yeah,
and I don't know if that was happening were 4 years into the PS4, were they still releasing games on PS3? I don't know. I mean,
I think that's the thing. I think Sony killed it with the PS4 era.
Yeah.
And they had things like the God of War game, The Last of Us remake. Obviously, it did come out on PS3 first, but it came out late on the PS3. And this, I mean, you had God of War Ragnarok, you had the Horizon sequel. So they've been sequels.
Spider-Man's,
again, sequels. So they have had brilliant games, but they're sequels. So it's a bit like, back in the PS3 area. And Xbox 360, you had Halo 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and whatnot. So, other than all the Soulsborne games, I don't think there's been that much of a AAA.
I mean, God of War Ragnarok.
New games.
That was out on PS4 as well as PS5, isn't it? So
was it a game that didn't get the DLC? Was it the God of War Ragnarok that didn't get the DLC, or was that Horizon? I think it was Horizon West, wasn't it? That they said it wasn't going to get the DLC on PS4.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Forbidden West, which obviously they've done on things like Cyberpunk as well. But that was because that barely ran on the Xbox One anyway.
Maybe we're just at a threshold. Maybe we're just saturated. Maybe the industry's just saturated, and
there are so many good indie games now, though, and it is so easy for people to release on PC. And this is why things like Steam Deck are flourishing.
Yeah,
because you can get these little games that are, £1.10 or $1 or $3. I mean, yesterday I bought a game called Incredibox. And it's basically just you have there's this cartoon guy, and you drag different beatbox riffs onto each person, and so you have the same guy but just in different, looking slightly different because you drag different, and you make these beatboxing tunes. And it was £1.29, I think. It was reduced but only reduced from £4 or something. And it was great. I was just sat there for about 2 hours, just like tapping on the screen because it was mouse controlled. But they'd adapted it to work well with the touchscreen. So, you just tapped and dragged and made all these beatboxing riffs. And it was great fun. And for £1.29, 2 hours of fun.
Can't go wrong, can you?
You get a coffee and it costs you £3.50. And that lasts 20 minutes. This is why games like Hades are being successful, because they're they're easily transferable to all platforms. Things like Steam Deck, they'll last for hours. They're just. It is the dawn of the indies. I think now,
and a good thing as well. I think.
Yeah,
but
so hopefully not at a detriment to us getting those big AAA games. Like,
yeah,
they're in a world where it is just indies and no one's invested in making those big games because they think, there's no money in it.
But going back to the movies, it's happening the same in the movies. Netflix and Prime and everything were like, you big name director want to make a movie? Here's $300 million, and then what was it? A year ago, 2 years ago, Netflix went, oh, hang on, we spent about $10 billion and we're not making as much money. And now what they've done is they've gone, okay, one person can have 300 million. All the rest of you get 50. And it's the same with games. You need those big ones that if you want a big AAA game.
We could end up in a world where it's just Call of Duties and FIFAs or EA, FC as they're called now, coming out and everything else is just indie games because they're the only ones that make money. Hopefully not, but on Grand Theft Auto every 20 years when they release their Grand Theft Auto game.
And then Grand Theft Auto Remastered, Grand Theft Auto Remastered, Grand Theft Auto Reboot Remastered.
Elder Scrolls Remastered, Elder Scrolls.
Oh, yes. Yeah, but
we had a couple of games that have been put on hold, haven't we, in the last few days? I know that what was it? Was it Grand Theft Auto? What's the big one that's coming out?
By who?
Hang on, I'll tell you.
By Take-Two or Rockstar?
Yeah.
I know my stepson had pre-ordered Prison Architect.
Grand Theft Auto has been delayed. There we go. It may not even see a release at the moment.
Oh God, it's definitely going to get a release. No,
as it stands at the moment, it's been put on hold.
GTA 6 is going to be an absolute cash cow.
It's the VR version. The VR version's been indefinitely delayed. There we go.
I was going to say, Grand Theft Auto 6 is when that comes out.
Oh, that was GTA 5. GTA 5 VR version, yeah?
Yeah, that's been indefinitely delayed.
I think you could get mods for GTA 5 that force it into VR. But obviously it's not official. But
there's a website that converts them all, isn't there?
There's one being released recently that any first-person game it can be linked to that it basically converts mouse and keyboard controls into VR. I think I don't have VR, so I do, but it's my stepson's. But yeah, my stepson pre-ordered Prison Architect 2 because I own that on Xbox and on PC. When he pre-ordered it, I said, "You do realize it's not the same people who made Prison Architect?" And he was like, "Oh no, I really want it." And that now has fallen foul of the what's it called, Paradox, because it was originally made by a company called Introversion, who one of my favorite developers of all time. Brilliant games, look them up. And then they sold, when they created Prison Architect, they sold the IP to Double Fine. And they made it with Double Fine. Double Fine made DLC and all this kind of thing. And then Double Fine were linked up with Paradox to do Prison Architect 2. But then they had a falling out, so they sold it to Paradox. And then Paradox have indefinitely postponed it now. So he's a bit annoyed. Because actually, he's not annoyed. He's annoyed that he's not getting it anytime soon. But he got it as a present, the pre-order, so it meant he's got 35 quid to spend somewhere else.
Wow. Buy the new Batman game instead.
Yeah, that's a company that's gone weird, like bad. Recently, is a Paradox.
Yeah,
Have either of you been watching the new trailer for Silent Hill, the remake, the sequel, Silent Hill 2?
No, although I did see a thing that said you could do the game and find all the secrets in 20 hours. Apparently,
like
that's that's from the developers.
It does look amazing. I have to say, it does look amazing.
Yeah, no, I've seen hands-on previews of it of people saying that it's really good and it's done really well. It's another thing that's been played at Gamescom this week. Some other horror games that have been announced. What's the one? There's a Supermassive Games. Supermassive Games have got the realistic motion captured. It's got some weird name. I'm just scrolling through all the things that were announced, and it's called Anytime Soon.
Why are you finding that? It's another horror movie called Nurea, which is a Japanese horror game inspired by Buddhist beliefs, where you have to avoid attacks from various monsters, and it combines fear and exploring eerie environments, and you're a child, essentially. The opening sequence shows this horror hands almost trying to pull out the eyeball of a child. It's really freaky. But the game looks really good. It's by Hexadrive Inc. And it's due out next year. So that's an exciting one. So have you found it?
I believe it's Unknown 9 Awakening. I think, it's by... Although that one does look good. Isn't that common? I'm still going to go through it. But yeah, I'm just scrolling through everything that was announced, and I've come across the Masters of Albion. Mr. Peter Molyneux is back. So, Peter Molyneux, who created things like Black and White, Populous, Fable, games, and he was well known for blowing smoke up everybody's ass to make everything better than they actually were. Whether it was Fable and saying it was a whole world you could live in, you could do whatever you want. It was like, no, you can't. It was him that announced the Kinect with Xbox, and they had like an interactive boy, and that never appeared because apparently rubbish. But anyway, he's back with what he knows best, which almost looks like Black and White Populous kind of game, city builder, and he went into mobile games and that failed miserably as well. So Masters of Albion, early days, but it looks quite promising, and if it's as good as his early games, I'd be quite excited about it. No, I still can't find this game. I don't know what it is.
I went on their website, Supermassive Black Hole, I was going to say. Supermassive Games. They got a game out in 2025 called Directive 8020 or 80,000.
Oh, that's the one. That's the one.
Where you're hunted by an alien organism capable of mimicking its prey.
That was the one. Directive 8020. I can't remember. I don't know the actress's name, but she's been in some TV shows. I know. But yeah, it's a horror game, and it's Supermassive's usual looking good. I love those kind of games. They've also got the casting of Frank Stone out soon.
Yeah, that's out this year, isn't it?
Yeah, that's out soon. I don't think it's got a date. Yeah, I'm just going to the
3rd of September.
Oh, probably is it that soon? Oh, awesome!
According to Wikipedia, which is famously reliable. So,
yes, I always use Wikipedia as a reliable source. I do, to be honest. Yeah. It's so much easier to find everything out on that. But yeah, I love Supermassive Games and the branching storylines and all that kind of stuff. Brilliant. What else was announced that I did see? Civilization 7, another city builder. We could talk about city builders, but Civilization it is the granddaddy of Civilization games, and apparently they're trying new things with Civilization 7. It's been a long time in the making. And Civilization 6, you can get it you can get it with all the DLC and everything for about 7p nowadays. It's quite widely available. I think you can even get it on your phone.
You can. Yeah.
So yeah, it's Civilization. You've got people who have got games that have been going on for years, from Civilization 5 kind of thing. I've never had a game that long, but yeah, it's the kind of game that you can go, oh, I'll just play for an hour and then wake up at 4. Well, come out of the game at 4 o'clock in the morning and not realise you've been there for 12 hours. So I'm very much looking forward to that. There was a lot I'm looking forward to, but there was nothing that was. Nothing that was. Oh my god, that's jaw-dropping, amazing.
Compared to the Xbox showcase, it wasn't.
Yeah, it was. There was a lot of things that were already announced that there was, but that was a good thing about it, is that they did show a lot of gameplay trailers. There was things that hadn't shown any gameplay before, and there was gameplay. Obviously, except for Borderlands 4, which is very. I think it's a very early teaser. I don't know. Is Gearbox owned by? Gearbox Games. Yeah. I don't know who they owned by now. They are owned by Embracer and Take. Oh no, they're owned by Take-Two apparently.
Huh. I did find a game that made me chuckle, which was Drug Dealer Simulator. I think it was 2 actually. I was like, come on now.
Oh, I mean, you can get loads. There's a game on Steam that's quite popular, and it's I can't remember what it is, but it's but basically one of the things you do, it's like I don't know, it's like Shop Simulator or something, but all you're doing is stopping hobos, and there's so many weird simulator games. I mean, I've got Internet Cafe Simulator, and I think that might be it, where you have people covered in with baseball bats and stuff like that. The simulator games are just weird.
Sounds fun.
Yeah, ish. They're not good on. They never have very good controls, so I don't play them on Steam that much. Yeah.
Wow.
Just thinking, anything else on gay? The Goat Simulator remastered trailer. Even if you don't like the Goat Simulator games, check out the trailer if you are up with all the gaming memes, because there's everything from Skyrim to Batman to GTA, like jokes in there. So very much a good trailer. It's hilarious. I mean, at first when it came up, I was like, "Is that meant to be Bruce Wayne?" And it is. It's just Bruce Wayne walking along with loads of gaming memes, and then everything goes black, and then a goat appears next to him. And hey, that's Don't Nod game was shown. Some gameplay was shown of that. Lost Records. Remember seeing that at the Xbox showcase? So it's by the same people who did Life is Strange.
Okay.
So it looks like it's sort of some girls in maybe the 80s or something, or the 90s, and they do a girl band or something. I don't know. But then it goes forward 10, 20 years, and there's something supernatural or magical. So that's the Life is Strange games. Were all about somebody who had a particular power. So the first one was time manipulation. Second one was telekinesis, and I can't remember. Then there was Tell Me Why, which I didn't get very far on that one because I didn't particularly like it. It seemed more drama-ish.
Quite looking forward to the new Monster Hunt in Wild game. Is it Wild? Yeah, Monster Hunter
Wilds, yeah.
Wilds, yeah, it looks quite good.
Are you a Monster Hunter, like, expert, or you played them all?
I've played them all. My favourite was the one on the PSP. Yeah.
Because that's where they became big, wasn't it, on the Sony handhelds?
Or small, depending on which way you look at it. But yeah, they were certainly the most successful on those, and yeah, it was a joy to play. I was playing it like last week, so it's not even aged badly at all. So
I tried to play Monster Hunter World when it came out on Game Pass, and I can't get into them. They're all. They've made them too complicated, and there was just like, oh, now you got this, and now you got this, and then you can't forget to do this, and you got to collect this, and you got to collect that, and then you got to collect this, and I'm like, I just want to hunt some monsters.
Yeah. But No More Ruin Hell 2 by Torn Banner Studios. That looked good.
Yeah,
zombie.
Yeah, that was a zombie thing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
There was quite a lot of horror games. Not this.
A Starship Troopers game there. I just saw. I didn't actually see the Gamescom, but I was just looking on their website.
Wasn't it a bit random they're doing that now after all these years?
Well, I mean, there's been a few Starship Troopers games.
I really like the film. The film was good.
Yeah, the film's a cult classic. It was so cheesy when it came out, but it's sort of become even more popular. One non-gaming thing that was actually announced on it is what's his name? Is it Tim Miller, who created Love, Death and Robots? That's on Netflix. Have you seen that? Because
I haven't seen that. No,
it's an anthology animation series. So you've got, let's say, 6 episodes or 8 episodes per series, and so they're all individual shows, cartoons, animations by different people, different stories, different animation styles. Fantastic. The first series was absolutely brilliant. Anyway, so he is creating another anthology series that each episode is going to be based on a different game. And so there would look like, and it's going to be on Amazon Prime, and look like there's going to be God of War in there. I can't remember what else actually there was, but so it'll be animation movies. I'm just trying to work out which is next. Oh, there you go, Pac-Man. There's a Pac-Man Outer Worlds, Sifu. So it looks pretty awesome. Hopefully,
that's interesting.
Coming out later, starting on the 11th of December of this year. It'll be on Amazon Prime. So if you want to see Pac-Man animation, hopefully better than in Pixels, the Adam Sandler movie.
Can't be any worse than the CDI version.
Oh yeah, blimey.
Oh yeah.
Did they try to make it like an FMV game or something?
Oh, enough said on it. Trust me, it's not even worth talking about.
Yeah, very good.
Was it Zelda CDI bad?
Yes.
Oh dear. I'm googling it. I'm googling it. Just for a quick Google. The art was not great.
No.
But
hey, it's a CDI for you. What can you do?
We've been chatting for about an hour. And I think, other than Indiana Jones, PS5, Civilization, and Borderlands 4, all the rest, I mean, there's a game called Ark Raiders, Infinity Nikki, which was a crazy trailer. There's some Warhammer was on there. Dune, there's a MMO, June MMO coming out called June Awakening. That looks interesting, but just looks like another June game. Little Nightmares creators are making a game called Reanimal, which looks basically like Little Nightmares 3. Problem is that there was also a trailer for Little Nightmares 3. So yeah, I know. But if you like Little Nightmares Reanimal and Little Nightmares 3 is coming out. Monument Valley 3 is coming exclusively to Netflix. And apparently Monument Valley 1 and 2 are coming to Netflix games as well. So if you've got Netflix, go and have a look. Starfield, Shattered Space. There was another trailer for that.
Seeing there that if you like Lego, new Mario Kart Lego sets announced.
Sexy.
Probably buying that.
Are they ones that will actually move?
Let me read. The Lego Group announced today that Mario Kart is getting the 6th official Lego sets. The new sets will be released on January the 1st, featuring iconic characters from the franchise. Well, there have been quite a few Mario Lego collaborations as part of the Lego Nintendo lineup. This is the first time Mario Kart franchise has been represented.
Hopefully you can race them with your mobile phones as controllers.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That's currently being shown off on the floor of the Gamescom 2024. So
what was the there was the
they got pictures
Mario Kart game, wasn't there? With
Mario
the cameras
Kart
on them.
Yeah.
Mario Kart Live.
Oh, it was terrible.
I was going to say, apparently it didn't work very well, did it? Because it kept dropping connection and stuff, didn't it?
Do you know what, though? I do want to get one. I mean, you can pick up for like 30 quid now. But my lounge, all my downstairs is open plan. And I have 2 doors between my lounge and my kitchen and then the open plan side. I can make a great little track going around. And
I'm sure your dog would love it.
I'm sure he would, and he'd be out in the garden. But yeah, it would be fun. So at some stage, I'm going to pick that up, I think.
If anyone's a fan of things like Overwatch and all that kind of thing, the Marvel Rivals game that's coming out has got a date now, 6th of December. So you can have Captain America versus Iron Man versus Winter Soldier, kind of
thing. It's a trading card game, that isn't it?
No. It's there's Marvel Snap. That's the card one. That's a mobile game. No, this is it's a MOBA, but a third person action MOBA. So it comes out in December. It looks all right actually. Whether I probably still won't play it, but it's free to play, and it's one where I think the only thing they're selling is going to be skins. So how long they stick with it, I don't know or care. Delta Force, that's a 1990s thing. There's a free-to-play game that is actually out now. It's an early access that you have to apply for to join it at the moment. But it's coming out gradually. I think you can just, on Steam, you can go, I want to play this, and they go, okay. So it's free-to-play Call of Duty kind of game. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Did any of you two play that game? No. Very, very hardcore first-person RPG. So, I remember playing it and accidentally punching somebody, and that just ruined the game. I had to restart the whole game because I just accidentally punched somebody at the very beginning of the game, and so I had to go through the whole intro and everything again. So very much, you've got to eat, you've got to do everything. Your fighting is very tactical, a hard game to play, but a lot of people loved it, and it's got a sequel coming out February next year. Batman Arkham Shadow, Little Nightmares 3. There was a game called Herdling, but it's as
just because,
because you herd some weird animals around, and that's it. It looks very pretty, but it was literally a game where you herd some things. Yeah. So Squid Game's coming out on Netflix, as in a game, like a game version of Squid Game. Although you can already get knockoff versions on Steam, and you have pretty much since Squid Game came out. But there is Squid Game Series 2 coming out. I don't know if either of you two have you watched the Squid Game?
What's the first series?
Yeah,
the first series was fantastic. I loved it. I thought it was
the only series, isn't it? The first one, unless you're.
Yeah. The series 2 has been announced. So that's coming out. I want to say soon, but Squid Game, Series 2, and so you can get a game. Oh, there's that Unknown 9 Awakening. That's a third-person action game. Yeah, it looks a bit Assassin's Creedy. Yeah. So other than that, there's so much tat in there as well. That's about it.
You say that's about it. That was about half an hour of you reading out games.
I know, it's exciting stuff. Me reading out. I mean, tune in next week for 3 chapters of War and Peace.
And game builders. The game building game.
Yes. Game building games. City builders and things like that. That'll be.
We'll get to it.
We will get to it eventually. You know, if you're a fan of SimCity,
building our way to it.
Might be a Christmas special. You know.
Well, I think after last week's ending as well, I think we should get Martin to do a really good ending again.
No,
Martin. Have you actually got anything to announce today?
No, I don't.
No. So just the usual like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
We won't cut you off like we did last week.
Right, put you on the spot last week. Yeah,
we tried.
Yeah, you just said bye, and that was it. That was the perfect ending, I thought. So I stopped it there.
If there's anything you listeners want to hear on the podcast, do let us know on our Facebook page.
Unless it's about building games, because
we're never going to get to that, I think. Or if it's less of one particular person. Yes. If it's what do you want to hear on this? Less of all 3 of you. I don't want to hear Tom, Martin, or Duncan. Oh, okay.
What if they ask for more of Duncan?
I don't think that's possible, is it? It'll just be me.
You can do like a whole hour about game releases.
Oh, just give me a list and I will use my voice. I could use my ASMR voice. Oh, yes. Ooh, look, I'm peeling a banana.
Quick, Martin, end this podcast.
Excuse me, I was going to say, I'm the one that controls it, so I can sit here and go, ooh, let me just crack open this Xbox 360 case.
Maybe, why don't you? I didn't know you had that voice.
Cool.
You could have used that for advertiser on next week's podcast.
This isn't just any podcast. This is the Focus on Gaming podcast. Yeah, I'll open up. I'll just have an hour of me opening up game cases. Oh. And now this is what Rare Replay sounds like it being opened. Ooh.
Now we're going retro.
Now, do you think people would start listening if we start doing that?
I think there'll be someone somewhere that probably just thought, oh yeah.
I don't think I want to know that person that wants to hear me.
We're going back to the 90s now with these PlayStation cases.
Ooh, click crack.
Here's a Super Nintendo case.
Yeah,
it'd just be cardboard, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it's the closest I can get within reach.
Right. But yeah, like and subscribe.
If you want to hear Duncan read out stuff, then let us know.
Sign up to our Patreon.
We'll create a separate,
Focus on Gaming Lists podcast.
Duncan does an after-hours special just for our subscribers.
Right, and on that note,
goodbye.
Bye.